What's going on, guys? It's your boy Cash, and we are here on the Game Awards website. Now, my friend sent me, he sent me the nominees for the best game of the year or whatever like that, but just to brag, because I told him that Returnal would be up there, and it's not one of the nominees. Now, just to be clear, just to be completely frank, now this is just a, this is their list, it's not mine. So first of all, if you guys have a game of the year, tell me what it is in the comment section below. But we're going to go through all the nominees, all the nominations, and I'm going to give you guys my picks. And then I think this is December 9th. We'll see what they actually decide to pick out, see how many we got right, how many we got wrong. Last year, I did not think Last of Us 2 would win a damn thing, but it turned out that it did win some things, actually too many things in my personal opinion. But let's see if we can get some things right this time. I don't even know if I got anything right on last year's, but let's see. This time we're going to be going from the bottom up. Last time we started with the top thing, and then we went all the way down. So I'm going to do it the reverse way, this way going forward. So the best esports event, no idea about this. I did not watch any of these events, but I'm gonna just go to League of Legends because they usually put on a decent event, so we'll just go with that. Best esports coach, not even gonna try it. Best esports team, no idea. Best esports athlete, not even gonna try it. Best esports game, now I do know these games. Call of Duty, CSGO, Dota, League of Legends, and Valorant. Now, I think from the stuff that I normally watch, I think League of Legends, still has the highest actually viewership. So I'm gonna go with League of Legends. Plus, right now it's been knocking it out of the park. So I guess I could go with League or Valorant, but I don't know. I feel like League just keeps doing better and better, and they keep actually listening and adapting to the community. Though that's probably controversial a little bit, but I feel like they do a decent job, at least for me. I'm happy. I don't know about the rest of the community, so I'm gonna go with League of Legends on that one. Content Creator of the Year, no idea. Innovation in accessibility. What? Far Cry 6, Forza Horizon 5, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, The Veil, Shadow of the Crown. Now, I wish I knew exactly what they meant by that, because I watched a lot of Marvel's The Guardians. I watched the entire game, played Rift Apart. I've seen a little bit of Far Cry, and I don't even understand how Forza is even on the list. So I'm gonna think that goes by them having like a mechanic in the game that allows people like colorblind mode, or stuff like that. Like you could use a controller, remap the buttons or something like that to accommodate something wrong with the hands or something wrong with the eyes, something like that. So that one I have no idea, but I'm just gonna give it to Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't remember anything in Ratchet & Clank that they did that. Like, I feel bad because I wish I would have been able to point that out. Next up is going to be most anticipated. Now this one's kind of rough. I think this might be harder than game of the year because you're baking on people's excitement of a certain game. Now, okay, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and then Starfield, which I have no idea what that is. So I'm gonna go with the most obvious answer. I think it's gotta be Elden Ring or God of War Ragnarok. And I have to think God of War has to easily win this because Elden Ring did have some slight issues, like some people didn't like certain stuff, even including myself. So for me, I think that it has to go to God of War because when the stuff that they showed recently, I don't think that anyone had a problem with it. No one's like, oh, why is it like this, or like that? So I think God of War gets that kind of freely. I don't see how that's even contested. Best multiplayer, Back 4 Blood. I swear, if it wins that, I'm calling rig. Just like when Last of Us 2 won, I called that rig too. Back 4 Blood, It Takes Two, Knockout City, great game. Monster Hunter Rise, great game. New World, I don't know too much, but I heard it's like hot and cold. And Valheim, no, I hate that game. So I think it's between It Takes Two, Knockout City, and Monster Hunter Rise. I think Monster Hunter Rise was pretty good, but I feel like it was short-lived. And then the next update that they did was like coming out next year, which is kind of weird for them to do. Knockout City was a shallow game, like not too in-depth game, but it was dumb fun. I think it was really fun type of game. But I think if you're going by a game in which, it depends. Like Knockout City is like 4-player multiplayer, and It Takes Two is multiplayer, but it's only like co-op. But I think it's a better game overall. So I think It Takes Two should take that. But if I feel like they're trying to make it like multiplayer, then I think that's where you get Monster Hunter Rise to come in there, maybe Back 4 Blood. But yeah, I'm not too sure about that. Best sim strategy game, Age of Empires 4, Evil Genius 2, Humankind, Inscription, and then Flight Sim. I swear to God. I'm gonna go here with Age of Empires because I did see my friend play it a little bit, and it just brings me nostalgia of Age of Empires. I don't know what Age of Evil Genius 2 is, and I don't know Humankind. I did see Inscription. It looked cool, but it looked weird also at the same. Like, it didn't look enjoyable to me to watch or to want to play. Best sports racing game doesn't exist. Best family, It Takes Two, Mario Party Superstars, New Pokemon Snap, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser Fury. What? 2 games in one? What kind of cheating? And WarioWare Get It Together. Now, I'm gonna again go with It Takes Two. I think It Takes Two is phenomenal. It's hard. But see, best family though. So this is what my issue is that Mario Party is a more family game. Like, you could play with multiple people. Same issue I had in the multiplayer. New Pokemon Snap, I don't remember that being a multiplayer game, but I guess they're just saying like game that the family can enjoy, and I don't think the family would enjoy Pokemon Snap. Super Mario 3D, same thing. It's like, I don't think anyone's watching someone play that. You know, you could play Mario Party as a crew, as a family, and It Takes Two, you can actually, I think, reasonably enjoy it with more than one person, as in family. WarioWare Get It Together is a fun game too. So I feel like if they're looking for like multiple people, I think it's WarioWare or Mario Party, but I think It Takes Two takes that as well. Best fighting, huh? Demon Slayer, the new Demon Slayer game, which is crazy that it got that. I don't know how much fighting games came out to even contest. Guilty Gear Strive, and they have Melty Blood, which I think did okay. Nickelodeon, Stop It, and it's pretty much Guilty Gear Strive. Now, they might try to do the Demon Slayer. If Demon Slayer wins, I think that's paid acting, because there's so many issues on launch with that game. I just think that would be crazy. Guilty Gear Strive launched strong and it faded out slowly, and it has a, relives. It does pretty well when they drop a character, but I think that it's done well as a game. So I think that for a game to come out recently and kind of do badly, I think that that's a little bit weird for it to be considered literally like the best fighting game that dropped this year. That's embarrassing. Same thing with Nickelodeon All Stars. It was a decent game. It had a nice hype stone, but it had a couple issues. I don't know about Melty Blood and Virtual Fighter, but yeah, I'm not doing that. Best role playing, Cyberpunk. This one blew my mind when I read it. I was like, wait, did Cyberpunk actually come out this year? I feel like it came out last year. I could be wrong about that. Maybe they mean like because they edited it or something. Cyberpunk, Monster Hunter Rise, Scarlet Nexus, which I did play. Obviously, we played Rise as well. Shin Megami Tensei 5, I'm watching that. I'm going to drop a review of that pretty soon. Tales of Arise, I did not see. I've seen a little inklings of that game. I actually really like Scarlet Nexus. I think that the story, the role-playing aspect of it was okay. A little draggy a little bit. Shin Megami Tensei, again, all these games are very like long-s. Monster Hunter Rise is not winning, and if it wins, I'm calling rigged. So I'm just gonna go put my best foot in my mouth and say Scarlet Nexus, because I just think that was a really good game and a lot of people were looking forward to it, and I think the game delivered at the same time. Best action adventure, this one's gonna be hard. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy versus Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2. I didn't see that. I don't even know what the heck that is, honestly. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and then Resident Evil Village, which this seems like, I guess, like not really the biggest ball. I feel like this is the same thing for Game of the Year, which is weird for a game to win a separate genre and then win Game of the Year if they're like opposites. I think that would be really strange. Now, action adventure, if we're going into that genre, right? Like Metroid Dread is not that much of a sleeper here. I think that game performed very well. I think that it did really good from when I was watching it. Ratchet and Clank, I played. I think it was phenomenal. As an action adventure, I think I give it more as action adventure. My gripes mostly with Ratchet and Clank is more of the story and like certain aspects of it, but actually jumping and fighting, I feel like it's actually good. I think that they did a good job with that. Resident Evil Village is not a sleeper either. I think that game held its own for that genre. Like people that love Resident Evil, I think that's a good, like watching a Resident Evil game is always a nice little thriller. But I just have this huge hard on for Guardians of the Galaxy. I think that it knocked it out of the park as far as like an overall game, and I actually see it's hard for me to say that because the action part of it I didn't like. So I don't know. I think that Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy kind of gets it, and it's more recent, and I feel like a lot of people underestimated it. Best action, Back 4 Blood. If it wins, it's rigged. I'm telling you. Chivalry 2, that's a double rigged. Deathloop, Returnal, and Far Cry 6. Now those are the three I think actually have a chance of winning it. Deathloop, I loved Deathloop. It was a fun game. It got a little bit annoying because of the whole aspect of trying to find clues and nothing's like highlighted unless you like or sniffing its butthole. Like it's so weird to try to like find clues sometimes in that game, but everything else in the game I think was pretty cool, finding out how everything works. Returnal is kind of similar to Deathloop. That's why I kind of find it weird that Returnal is not, and it was a highly anticipated game and it didn't get a nominee for Game of the Year, but Deathloop did. So I think that with that, as far as action, and Far Cry 6 is usually like kind of, it's like, to me, Far Cry and Grand Theft Auto are like the same. They have like weird over the top nonsense, but as far as like action, like heart beating stuff like that, I feel like I want to give it to Returnal a little bit, because it's a bullet hell kind of game. Bullet hell, but I feel like Deathloop might get this. I honestly do feel like Deathloop might get this. Back 4 Blood only if you put on the hardest difficulty with no cards. Best VR AR, let's come on now, we don't play those. Best mobile game, now this one is kind of interesting. Fantasia, Genshin Impact, League of Legends Wild Rift, no. Marvel Future Revolution, which I think did okay, but then it's going against The Beast, which is Pokemon Unite, which is kind of jaded because Pokemon Unite is mostly like a Switch game. I would love to know how many people still play it on the actual mobile, but I feel like it's mostly known as a Switch game, which is like just to be annoying to compete with Genshin Impact, which is the kind of the more clearer winner of the thing if you don't have this there. But I wonder if Pokemon Unite can kind of sneak in there and win and beat it out for doing well. But I think Genshin Impact has not really been doing bad. I guess I'm not in that community, so I have no idea, but that'd be interesting. Best community support, like best game that I guess is doing better, Apex Legends, which is still dropping stuff, still doing okay in my opinion. Destiny 2, what? People still play this game? I had no idea. Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and No Man's Sky. I'm just gonna go with a 14 because I know that they have something else coming up soon. I think people are hyped for it, so I don't know what any of these other games have been doing outside of Apex Legends, which I would make a close second. Games for Impact. Before Your Eyes, have no idea what that game is. Boyfriend Dungeon, that just sounds scary. And, oh, by the way, if you guys know any of these games and say I think I should review them, like I should look into them, maybe watch a playthrough or purchase possibly, unlikely. I'm trying to buy, some things. But, if you guys have any like that, please let me know in the comment section below. Chicory, no idea what that is. Life is Strange True Colors, we did look over that. And No Longer Home. By default, I'm just gonna have to go with Life is Strange. I think the game was good also, but I don't know the other games. Best performance. Now this one I thought was woohoo. So we got Erica Mori as Alex Chen, the main character of Life is Strange True Colors. Giancarlo Esposito as the character in Far Cry 6. Did not play that. Now Jason Kelly as Colt Vaughn. I think Colt was played amazingly. I think that he did a phenomenal job as Colt in Deathloop, and the fact that Deathloop's all over this playlist, all over this award, that makes me think that they're gonna do it. Not only that, is if you look a little bit further down, Ozama Akasha, I probably butchered that, as Juliana Blake. So they have two Deathloop performances here, similar to what I think last year they had two from Last of Us 2, like I think it was Ellie and I think also Abby as well. They also here have Maggie Robertson as Lady from Resident Evil Village. I don't remember how amazing her performance was as far as like vocals and maybe they're doing like mocaps or something like that, but I'm going based off literally like the voice and like the passion in the voice. I'm gonna have to by default give that to my boy Jason here. I think he did a phenomenal job as Colt. I think that unfortunately I don't think that Erica did a phenomenal job outbeating her castmates. I think everyone did a great job in Life is Strange, not to like isolate one person, but I think Colt did a phenomenal job like by himself. Like you're playing as him the entire time, and I think he does a phenomenal job there. Best audio design, Deathloop, Forza, Ratchet and Clank, Resident Evil, and then Returnal. Audio design, I always feel weird when they say stuff like that, and then they'll do best sound, and then they'll do like audio. I always look at audio design as far as like when you're in a fight, the music that plays, when you're hiding, when you're doing X, Y, Z, and like how did the game really like do that, or when you enter another area, a new area, the music change, the menu, like everything like that. I feel like that's what they mean by audio design. And for that, now there was some stuff in Returnal that I can remember, like there actually has a theme with the music, like there's something really important about a certain song and melody, so I feel like that might be doing something with it. But I feel like Ratchet might get that, or maybe Deathloop might get it, because the music when you get found in Deathloop and then like, or when you're stealthing versus when you're not stealthing is actually pretty cool. Like actually the good tempo, and that's kind of the audio design of a stealth game that can also be played when you get busted. Same thing with like Metal Gear, when you get busted and like all of a sudden like you feel it, like. So I don't know, this one's a kind of a toss-up, so again I might just default to Deathloop on that one, and I can't really remember any like significant music or songs in Ratchet and Clank to say otherwise. Best score in music, we're going with Cyberpunk, Deathloop, We got Nier Automata and Marvel's Capcom, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, and The Artful Escape. Now, I don't remember The Artful Escape, but I know most of these other games, and I'm gonna have to give it to Guardians of the Galaxy because mostly, sorry, you know, it actually has a lot of great music. Yeah, it's the best score in music, and the next one is audio design. But I think the thing about it is that the music in that game was phenomenal. Especially, unfortunately, if you play it on streamer mode, you don't get to hear some of the music. But I think that the music and the cues and everything like that they put into that game was really good. It feels like you're literally playing a movie. So next, best art direction, Deathloop, Kenna Bridge of Spirits, Psychonauts 2, which I still, sorry, Ratchet and Clank, and then The Artful Escape. Artful Escape coming up again. Dinosaur, Beethoven and Dinosaur, what the hell? Now, art direction, and I feel like that's like drawing up stuff in like the world, like how you build the world. I feel like, unfortunately, not even unfortunately, because I think like I want to give Kenna Bridge of Spirits some credit here in this regard, but I feel like as far as art design, like stuff that looks cool, I think that clearly goes to Ratchet from what I could see, because Ratchet actually has like dimension pulling. You're going into different dimensions, you're seeing a bunch of crazy stuff going on while you're playing. I feel like that's a little bit cooler. Like Deathloop is not as crazy as far as that, so I think Ratchet kind of gets this clean. But I feel like for some reason, I don't remember what Psychonauts 2 is, but if it's as kooky as Ratchet, then maybe they'll take that. Best narrative, which is, woo, this one's gonna be rough for me. Deathloop, It Takes Two, Life is Strange, Marvel, and then Psychonauts 2. Now, narrative, I feel like is going purely by the story. The story, only the story. Now, I think that's what's gonna hold me up. I feel like all these games, obviously besides Psychonauts, had an amazing story. And I think Life is Strange will be the weakest of them, so I'm gonna not include that one. Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy was pretty good. I think the story really carries, especially because you can actually affect what happens in this story. It Takes Two is purely a story game that you play with someone, and I feel like the person that you're with might experience, so you get like double the emotion for one. And then Deathloop, the story is also pretty cool as you figure out who is Juliana and who is Colt and why he keeps forgetting, and then you start to break it down. But the thing about Deathloop that I'll have to say is that you can kind of not really pay attention to the story. You know, may not care, and you can video game it the entire time. Meanwhile, I think Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy and It Takes Two force you to really pay attention to the narrative because it's part of it. I feel like I want to give that to It Takes Two. I want to give it to, yeah, I might give it to It Takes Two. Even though I really like Marvel, I really like Marvel. Maybe I'll give it to Marvel because it's not Game of the Year. So it needs to win more awards on the back end side. But it's a really hard toss up for me. A really hard toss up. But I'll go with Marvel on that one because I really did like the narrative. I liked that it made me actually like Peter Quill, even though I've learned from before that Peter Quill is like not a bad guy, but a lot of people didn't like him. But I've grown to like him, and I like the cast except Rocket Raccoon. Best debut indie, Kenna Bridge of Spirits, Sable I did not play, Artful Escape did not play, The Forgotten City didn't play, Valheim no. I'm gonna give Kenna. I think that it was a really good introduction for the Ember Labs. I think that they did a fantastic job, and I think that either Kenna 2 or their next project will be even way better because they did a game and it played amazingly, and I think that their next future games will be phenomenal, and I hope that they get an award and like encourages them to do more, I guess. Best indie, which is what? What are these two things? 12 Minutes, Death's Door, Kenna, Inscription, and Loop Hero. Now, Loop Hero I never showed on my channel, but I did watch it. It was actually a pretty interesting concept. 12 Minutes I don't know, Death's Door I don't know, Encryption I don't like Encryption. I don't know, I guess just give that to Kenna as well, but that just seems weird. I guess like maybe some of the best indies came out in a different time frame than this year, so debut would be like the ones that came out this year, because like Valheim is not on this list either, and I know a lot of people like Valheim, so I don't know, very weird difference here between the two. Best ongoing, Apex Legends, Call of Duty Warzone, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Genshin. I think ongoing, I still think that would be 14, Final Fantasy 14. I don't know, it looks like it's doing the best. Genshin would be a close second, and then Apex afterwards, and I have no idea what's going on in Fortnite. So best game direction, now that's loop-de-loops. I don't even know again how do you quantify that. So like the game's direction different from the narrative, which would be the story. I guess direction is how you play it, and if that would be the case, I think I would go possibly with Deathloop on that one because of how you have to manipulate so much stuff in order to get to that perfect ending, to getting everyone into every place that they need to be. I feel like that's really cool. It Takes Two is fully linear, and like Deathloop you can BS for a lot, but I like I kind of like how they allow you to do it and like how you get around it. Returnal is even though I said I think it should be game of the year, or sorry, a game of the year nominee, as far as game direction, I think it's very, what is it, mysterious. A lot of it is mysterious, and then you can definitely miss a lot. You definitely need someone to like kind of figure out what's going on. It's very mind-provoking kind of thing, so you could play that game and not come out with a good experience in that game. And I think that that's kind of what nicks it, is that they went with such a mysterious, similar to Death Stranding, very, you know, very weird, awkward kind of stuff, but I still think the game was phenomenal. So I think that game direction, I think that might go to Deathloop, and It Takes Two. I think Ratchet and Clank was also go there. I would think Ratchet actually would be a close second, and then Takes Two might be 3. And then game of the year, final. I know I've been talking for so long. Deathloop, It Takes Two, Metroid Dread, which we have not seen in any of the other categories, I don't think. Oh no, it was in one other, right? Psychonauts 2, which was in a lot of categories, Ratchet and Clank, and Resident Evil Village. Again, before I come up with my pick, guys, let me know in the comment section. YFO in the comment section below. Let me know how you feel about all these categories and what you guys think about it. You don't have to give me each one, but maybe one that you're more passionate about, or that you really feel a game should deserve it, or maybe a game that didn't make the list. Like, yo, why didn't this game get it? This game was phenomenal. And now, game of the year, I think it should be It Takes Two. Deathloop is a really close second, and I think Ratchet for me would be like a third. But It Takes Two, I think, was just overall good. Like I said, a good multiplayer. I think Deathloop's multiplayer, and that's why when I go game of the year, it has to be full circle. I think that the Deathloop's multiplayer, as far as Juliana invading as you being another player being Juliana, was not implemented that well, and that's where I kind of nick it a little bit for game of the year, like a pretty much perfect game, right? So like, I think that that's where Deathloop kind of like, I can't give it number one. I feel like It Takes Two delivered, came out and did something even better than what people thought it was going to do. Metroid Dread, I think, is the same way, but I know some people had a little bit of bickerings about it. Psychonauts 2, again, I don't know. Ratchet and Clank, I had some bickerings about it. It was a great game, but I think it could have been a little bit better. And then Resident Evil Village, I think, might come up if enough people make enough noise for it, but I think as far as the other ones, it's a bigger juggernaut. Even though Resident Evil is a long-lasting series, I think that those games don't always excel. Even though they do well, they're good, but they don't excel as hard as they possibly could. So what did you guys think about my takes? Let me know in the comment section below. And just remember that every day at the Kashino is your lucky day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.